Hey, what's up? So, I'm a therapist and also a lifelong fan of the satirical newspaper The Onion, so I just wanted to do the Lord's work today and put out a video about how some of the fantastic and hilarious articles that they write just kind of say something cool about mental health, or at least make us reflect about mental health. I just wanted to have some good laughs. I'm going to try not to over-explain anything here today, like I do usually. And I also just wanted to thank all the wonderful people who support these videos with actual dollars on Patreon. I don't know why they do that. Apparently they want more of these videos. So thank you so much. And I am planning to do another video about The Onion just for patrons that I'm going to put up there about how actually my experience with The Onion directly led to me traveling to Mongolia. It just liking The Onion when I was in high school years later led to me going to Mongolia after college. So if you want to know why the heck that would be and, watch other cool videos and listen to cool music, come check out the Patreon. But yeah, no pressure. So let's check out some Onion articles. We're here today to talk specifically about The Onion and mental health. All right, first up, we have this one. Report, feeling bad right now, most reliable predictor of feeling bad forever. It's so good. This comes up all the time. I mean, you've probably felt this way. I've definitely felt this way. I was talking about this yesterday with a client. This comes up all the time. It's just something about feelings. They lie to us implicitly. They make us feel like they're never going to pass. And we have to consciously try to get out of that and think, oh yeah, they actually are going to pass. My favorite line from this is, according to the study, individuals who currently struggle with feelings of worthlessness and believe there is no way anyone could ever really love them have a 99.8% chance of maintaining that state of mind for the remainder of their natural lives. Just peak satire and something that deserves to be satirized. Great, fantastic. Okay, next one. In a really similar vein, Area Man, only one with problems. Not as funny, frankly, because it's not as specific, and it's a little bit mean-spirited. Because, I hate when people are like, do people think they're the only ones with problems and so on? But okay, it's still funny, still makes you question yourself, blah, blah, blah. Next one, in a similar vein, and they're not all going to be in this vein, but the next one, okay. Anxiety-ridden man rightly ashamed of every single thing he does. This is a little bit funnier than that previous one because it's very specific. The more specific, kind of the funnier, just like that first one was about, specific feelings of worthlessness. In this one, my favorite line is okay. According to former classmates, even as a student, Gibula, I guess that's his last name, was justifiably always feeling humiliated, and the stupid things he regrets having done in high school and hopes are long forgotten are in fact freshly remembered by all who know him. So it's good. That's a good thing to send up, a good thing to think about. In general, the expression when you're in your 20s, you think everybody is judging you for what you're doing. When you're in your 30s, you realize maybe people aren't really judging you for what you're doing. And when you're in your 40s, you realize no one was paying attention to what you're doing. It's obviously simplistic, but that is an important part of mental health, to be your own barometer of what's right and wrong, in a good way. You can't just be like, oh, it's okay for me to do whatever I want. But, with minor things, to be able to say, well, if someone judges me for that, screw them, and so on. So I love that. It's a great article. Okay, the next one, so now in a different vein. Okay, Thursday cry moved up to Wednesday due to scheduling conflict. That's so good. I love that so much. In a real sense, sometimes I do talk about with people, set appointments for yourself to just take time for yourself. Usually that's for self-care or doing something like that, enjoying yourself, doing a hobby you like, something like that for people who are very busy, don't have enough time for things they enjoy. But honestly, if you set a time for yourself to just feel feelings, I would kind of get that. So this just takes that to the extreme. It's fantastic. Okay, let's look at another. What do we got? Okay, this next one's good. So this is a panic attack, and this is from back in 2009. The Onion's gotten a little bit worse over the years. They're actually noticeably worse with corporate conglomeratization. They've actually been bought by two really big companies in the last 5 or 7 years. Whatever, we're not going to do a history lesson. I don't really care about doing a deep dive about The Onion. But this one's a little bit older. So this is a panic attack. I love that. Because it's just a guy experiencing a panic attack and then consciously just thinking out loud about it. So my favorite line is when he goes, who knew that all this time when people were talking about a panic attack, what they really meant was a nonstop rocket sled ride to hell itself where your soul gets sucked through a straw by demons. And I think it is really hard to understand what a panic attack is when you haven't been through it. A lot of people think they're made up and blah, blah, blah. When you've been through it, you just get it. I mean, I was going into social work. I think I hadn't ever experienced a panic attack before then, but I did here and there, 5 or so years ago. And look, you just get it at that point. You're like, wow, this is horrible. And there are ways to ride it out, to learn how to deal with those feelings, to, be around people who understand mental health, and that's helpful and so on. But yeah, I love this. Okay, so the next one is really good. Area Man has sad little routine for when he needs cheering up. This one's a little bit mean-spirited, but they were just funny lines. I love this part where they're like, during his afternoon shower, a second daily shower, he takes to, quote, relax and not have to focus on getting clean like the morning shower. That one hit me hard. I was like, oh, I've definitely done that. I've definitely taken showers just to relax, just to unwind. It's extremely hot right now. Maybe it's something I'm doing. If I'm showering twice a day now, it's because I'm sweating all the time. But, in the winter or something like that, maybe I'd shower twice a day, and one of them would be just like, hot water, relaxation. That's good for you. Nothing wrong with that. I don't know, unless there's a drought and you can't do that. Like, okay. Okay, next one. Upcoming date, only thing between Area Man and utter self-neglect. So I think we can all relate to that. You're not taking care of yourself, and then there's something coming up good in your life, so you take care of yourself. That's good. It's good. It makes us think a little bit and reflect about how we live. Okay, this next one's funny. Actual problem, a nice change of pace for a nice change of pace for anxious man. That's real. Do you ever deal with that? Like, you have so much anxiety about irrational stuff that you're sometimes like, oh, wait, now I have a real problem. Now I have something I actually have to work through, like stress at my job or something, which is a lot more manageable than just like wondering if all my friends hate me or something like that. I've definitely talked about this with clients. That's a real thing. Okay, so this one, man's anxiety not about to let depression muscle in on turf. I love that. That's so funny to think of them as different things that are like battling for you. I would think it's good to think about like how are depression and anxiety related for you if you do experience both, which like you don't have to mean clinical depression, clinical anxiety. It could just be like feelings of anxiety, depressive feelings. It doesn't have to be a whole diagnosable thing. But think about how they do relate to each other and how they kind of affect each other. Over worrying with over sort of lack of motivation. That's a terrible way to put that. Over lack of motivation. Am I even a therapist? What am I talking about? Okay. Seasonal depression to take over for chronic depression for a few months. Same basic idea. Love it. Seasonal depression is a totally real thing. I know people like make fun of it. Obviously, the seasons changing is natural and you should be able to deal with it, but it also obviously affects you. It's going to affect you. You can find ways to deal with it and so on, but certain people are more affected by the season changing and by temperatures being worse, by there being less sunlight. If you don't think that's true, you're just denying something very obvious. Obviously, less sunlight affects people's moods. Okay, anyways, hands-off mom lets kids create own psychological issues. I love that. It's so great. We're all going to have, some issues we develop, and, sometimes they're the ones our parents have. Sometimes we get, a little creative with it. Okay, 49-year-old nearly back to pre-middle school confidence levels. This is so real. I mean, I deal with this. I know people deal with this. Like, you want to get that confidence back that you had from other times in your life, but you've experienced a bunch of crap since then, and that can be a big struggle. So I love that pre-middle school is when this person was most confident. Not true for me, but for me it was like college. I'd like to get some of that confidence back, and I'm working on it. Okay, supposed adult pays man to sit in room and listen to him talk about his feelings. You just gotta laugh. You just gotta laugh. Obviously, from this, perspective they're making fun of, yes, it's a ridiculous thing on the face of it, but it makes you think, well, maybe it's not such a ridiculous thing, or it makes me think that. If you think it's ridiculous to talk about your feelings with a person because you're a man or an adult or something, you're just using other people's definitions of what those things are. You don't have to agree with that. Anyways, it's obviously a joke. This is so funny. Manic researchers announce they are hours away from cure for depression. That's so funny. I love that. I just love the thought of them staying up all night for weeks, to basically see if they can solve this. And, yeah, if you do find yourself experiencing mania, probably good to get a little help with that, even if it's fun sometimes. I get it. Okay, next one. Son, we'd all like to lie around all day being clinically depressed. It's so funny making fun of that like fatherly perspective that doesn't understand mental health, but framing it in this way. We'd all love to be clinically depressed. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Next one. You are your own worst enemy, and after that, it's Count Dementox. I don't know what to say to that. That's just amazing. Okay, yeah, we'll end with this one. Study majority of calm downs ineffective. It's so true. When did this come out? 2009? I remember reading this probably in 2009, honestly, or around then. And I still remember it to this day because I don't think I've told people to calm down since I read this article. And it's obviously a joke, but it's not. telling people to calm down just doesn't work. I mean, in certain contexts, it's your friend or something like that. Like you say it in a certain voice, sure. But if someone's like mad, aggravated, escalated, telling them to calm down just doesn't work. It just communicates, I don't get where you're coming from, or type of thing. So yeah, other better ways to connect with people when they're escalated. You don't just tell them to calm down. And maybe this is a great ending point because we're calming down now and we are, ending the video. So I hope you have a good rest of your day. You can go watch all the other videos on this channel. They're pretty cool. They're about different stuff. Some, media, philosophy, politics, pointless, silly things like this. And thanks for hanging out, and hope you, can enjoy some other Onion articles. If there are definitely ones I forgot. So there was one I tried so hard to find about a guy who just wishes people would stop asking him to say or do things, but I could not find it. I searched for 20 minutes, honestly, different ways to type in the words, and it's how I found a lot of these, so it wasn't a waste of time. Anyways, if you have articles that I forgot, put them in the comments, let me know, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that. Why would people not do that? I don't understand. Obviously do that. Okay, bye.